welcome to the family here on Purple Mafia. I am your host, Paladino Joey, or Joey Awajan. Purple Mafia is available on all of your favorite podcasting apps. I thank each and every one of you once and always for downloading and listening to this show. It's a great pleasure to be back on board with you once again today, as it's time to review the draft. We get to look at what the Vikings did, and it looks like we finally have QB number 2. It took about 500 years. And with all that said, the Minnesota Vikings wound up with 5 draft picks because of the trade for a number 2 quarterback. So we open things up with the quarterback? Might as well. Sam Howell will be your number 2 quarterback. Of course, you probably already know that if you're listening to this show, but just, I don't know, you might as well jump into him right away. So the Vikings going young for the number 2 quarterback position. 2022 fifth round pick, number 1 in that round. The first pick in the 5th round to the Washington Commanders, and started the whole season in 2023, almost 4,000 yards. He had 21 touchdowns, but 21 interceptions. So a little bit kind of sloppy. Terrible team, 3-14 season for the Washington Commanders. Supposedly they were still the Washington football team. I think they might have been at the time. I'm not. I get mixed up as to when they actually called them the Commanders. It might have been 23. I think they were the Commanders already, actually. Yeah, that's when we were calling them the Cadets. I think I was making fun of them a little bit. And Sam Howell was the quarterback the whole season. The year before, he played in one game, basically just one touchdown, 1 interception. So it was very consistent with the interception to touchdown ratio. 1. Last year, he threw 1 interception and no touchdowns for the Seattle Seahawks. Geno Smith led the way there. Geno Smith is now the starting quarterback for the Oakland Raiders, Las Vegas Raiders. Thank you very much. And and a guy by the name of Sam Darnold will be quarterbacking the Seattle Seahawks. Sam Howell becoming a little bit more expendable over the course of time, and the Vikings able to acquire him, basically trading down like 40 picks. Basically, yeah, they traded down basically, and that's pretty much what happened. You just kind of exchanged picks, and Sam Howell was included in the deal. So very happy to have Sam Howell on board with the Minnesota Vikings. So that's always the good news at the end of the day. Is he my top choice? Of course not, but is he like the worst? Not really. No, I mean, not really. I was kind of hoping for an older guy to kind of be more of be like more of a mentor. I don't know if Sam Howell's going to be a mentor. Maybe they see Brett Ripien as that kind of guy. As talk is that he's more of a coach type of player anyway. It was 30 picks. Drop. So the Vikings basically dropped down from 142 to 172 and also got Sam Howell in return in the trade. So basically trading down in the 5th round. That's what I thought it was. I just wanted to get the absolute details in there. Vikings also have Brett Ripien under contract. And the Vikings also signed a number of UDFAs. So, and one of them is a quarterback, and it's kind of local. So at least played for the local team, not from here necessarily. Not every Golden Gopher is from Minnesota. That's just an absolute fact. Just like Bobby Jackson, everybody loved him. It's like, oh, what kind of Minnesotan are you if you don't want him on, he's not from here. But yeah, he played for the Gophers. So Sam Howell did not do that. Sam Howell played for North Carolina and was from North Carolina. So cool. Waynesville, North Carolina, Sam Howell. Only 6'1". The other not so good thing to go with the 221 interceptions is the fact that he was pretty much sacked more than anybody else in the NFL when he was out there. So sacked 65 times. A loss of 445 yards. Ouch. One good thing for Sam Howell in the rushing department, not too bad. This is in 2023 again. It's a full season sample size, so it's not like it's nothing. It's not like he played like 5 downs, kind of like, unfortunately, Brett Ripien. 263 yards, 5.5 a carry. Okay. 5 touchdowns, though. So that's kind of cool. 4 fumbles, but 2 lost. So he lost half of the fumbles he actually fumbled. The other 2 were recovered by himself or a teammate. So, yay. At the end of the day. So, I mean, 2 fumbles it's not good, but it's not like the end of the world. Throughout an entire season. Could be worse. Dante Culpepper fumbled more than like whole teams, basically, back in, was it 2002? Whole teams, Dante Culpepper. Yeah, that's how crappy he was about hanging on to the football, where a lot of us tend to forget that and say he's like the number 2 quarterback in franchise history or something. Okay, yeah, he was pretty good, pretty talented, but he couldn't hang on to the ball, and he threw a lot of interceptions too. He had more turnovers than whole teams in 2002 alone. It was pretty obnoxious, actually. He went from, wow, he's great, to GD at Dante, hang on to the ball. Pardon my French there. Well, further and further proof that J.J. McCarthy is the starting quarterback of the Minnesota Vikings. Pittsburgh Steelers, we'll see where they went. At the end of the day, Mr. Aaron Rodgers has still not decided since the last episode. But, of course, the last episode was only about a week ago. Well, we're going to look at the draft board. We're going to talk about what some of the other teams did as well. So that's kind of how that goes at the end of the day. Sorry about this. Round by round by round by round by round by round. We'll refer to ESPN here. Of course, Cam Ward went number 1 overall. And a certain guy who was supposed to go possibly number 2, number 3, number 4, number 10, number 21, he went in the 5th round. That would be a guy by the name of Shedeur Sanders. So, yes, it was the number 1 story of the entire draft. Shedeur Sanders drops to the 5th freaking round. I thought Aaron Rodgers it was a little bit weird how he dropped all the way to 24. Well, the guy ended up being a weird guy, but he was the best player in that draft. At least the best quarterback, no doubt about it. Travis Hunter, the Jaguars make the first trade of the draft with the Cleveland Browns, and they get Travis Hunter, who's a guy who can kind of do a bit of everything. And yes, there's a stupid Buffalo. There's the Buff again. Ugh, go away. Colorado this, Colorado that. And yes, like Shedeur Sanders. Travis Hunter, though, played both positions. It's like he's trying to be Shohei Ohtani, basically. He's been a receiver and a cornerback and been super good at both. Cornerback, not quarterback. Abdul Carter, edge rush to the Giants. That was long, been a conversation. Will Campbell, who at times went 10th to the Bears, goes all the way up to the Patriots, 4th overall, offensive tackle. Well, hang in there. Out of LSU, Mason Graham, defensive tackle to the from Michigan to the Cleveland Browns. That's, of course, the Browns going from 2 to 5 in that one. Ashton Genty going 6th overall to the Las Vegas Raiders. Las Vegas Raiders, yeah. One of these days I'll get it right. Armand Membou, not Caribou, but Membou out of Mizzou. Offensive tackle to the whoever they are, New York Jets. That's a weird-looking logo. It looks different. Anyhow, Titura McMillan, wide receiver, going to the Carolina Panthers. Well, let's bring home Thielen, right? Everybody wants to bring Thielen home. Okay, here goes Shedeur Sanders. He's going to the Saints. Nope, Kelvin Banks. Okay, well, I guess he's not going 9th. Well, he's not going to go to the Bears or anything. There's no way. They took quarterback number 1 last year. So Loveland will be at the tight end, a nice target for Mr. Campbell there. Mikael Williams, edge to the 49ers. I probably don't need to read all of these. I'll be going crazy. But I'll be boring you and boring myself almost as I'm doing it. And unfortunately, as kind of expected, Gray Zabel, the guy who I endorsed, going 18th to the Seattle Seahawks. But then there was the backup player that I thought, kind of like the backup plan, who I thought was possibly the guy all along in a lot of ways. Like, okay, yes, you'd love to have Gray Zabel, but he's not going to be there anyway. He's going to be gone. He'll be gone maybe as high as the Bears or something. Who knows? But that didn't quite happen. Derek Harmon, a lot of people liked him a lot. Defensive tackle. To the Steelers, Jahdae Barron, a guy I liked a lot, cornerback with a ton of athleticism, going with Sean Payton's Denver Broncos. All right, so 20th overall there. Matthew Golden, the first wide receiver drafted in the first round by the Green Bay Packers since 24 years, pardon me. So that'd be like 2001. There is no 20 there. 2001. That sounds real good. It's 2001. But then Donovan Jackson, DJ, coming to Minnesota. Donovan Jackson, 24th overall. Remember, he was one of the 3 top guys that I was talking about on last week's draft. He was one of the big 3, basically. It's going to be him, Zabel, or Starks. I thought it was going to be one of those 3. Maybe Barron, but I figured he was going to go higher. And then I'm like, Zabel's probably going to go higher too. There's a pretty good chance we wind up with Donovan Jackson, and I'm fine with that. Offensive tackle, offensive guard out of Ohio State. He's a guard, left guard, but he also played a lot of left tackle for Ohio State, which is like one of the top programs in the entire country. Wyatt Davis did come from Ohio State. Yes. I remember he was like, it's not like he came from Ohio State or something. Actually, he did. But Wyatt Davis was later in the draft, and wow, this guy looks the part, like I was talking about in the last conversation. We'll see what some of the Yahoo experts have to say as well, but Donovan Jackson, yes, very happy to have him. And, of course, pre-draft analysis, I guess we'll say, this is on ESPN. Jackson started 30 games at left guard and 9 games at left tackle at Ohio State. He covers up defenders and gets some push in the run game. Yep, he's definitely a big help in the run game. There's definitely a focus in this offseason to help bolster the run game because last year was freaking frustrating. Like, when did the Vikings score their first touchdown of the season with the run game? Well, I can't remember how late in the year it was. Was it like the 10th week or something ridiculous? And wasn't it like Cam Akers? Wasn't he the first running back to run the ball in? I think he was. I mean, that's how pathetic it was, like the run game, especially in the red zone. It was utterly pathetic. It's like, well, I guess we're kicking a field goal here. Yet we still found a way to win 14 games despite that kind of a, gaping hole. It was pathetic. So then it's like, okay, this interior line is disappointing, for lack of better words. Might say something mean. It's too mean. You can't say that, especially if you're a head coach. That's just naughty. So then you bring in Pat Kelly, who looks like the meanest son of a gun you ever met, and Will Fries, who's one of the most talented guards, probably about as good a guard as you're going to get in free agency. And now you get Donovan Jackson. So your interior line is completely different now. You also still have Blake Brandel for depth, so that's actually quite wonderful. Brandel can play left tackle and guard. Jackson can play left tackle and guard. So, obviously, that's wonderful. Jackson's 6'4", 315, so tall enough to be a tackle, but be a heck of a guard at 6'4", 315. Looks pretty fantastic there. Also, what did he have? Like the highest GPA of the entire team, so that's pretty cool. Looks like a smart guy, looks like a nice guy, looks like a cool guy, and looks like a good football player, too. So, probably not looking for, like, where's the party dudes. When I see that, I'm just like, okay, yeah, no, that's okay. And then you have Shedeur Sanders, who's not where's the party, but why am I not this? Why am I not that? Why is my line not blocking for me? Blankety blank, Yeah, and my dad's a jackass too. No, like he wasn't saying that his dad is a jackass, at least sometimes. Deion Sanders, yeah, I'm not a big fan. It took about 5 minutes to realize years ago when he was in the NFL, all those years ago. I'm not a big fan of this guy. He's an ass. He's an ass. Praise the Lord that he's a Christian, but he's still an ass, though. Come on, man. I guess he's being... Matt Miller's comparing him to Isaac Seumalo, so I don't know that one super well, and that makes me sound probably pretty dumb right now, and I probably shouldn't have said that, but I said it. From the Pittsburgh Steelers, pretty good guard, yeah. Okay, yeah. My brain's starting to catch up here. He's pretty good. So not like a superstar, but a good player. This one's 31 years of age. He was a third-round pick by Philadelphia. So he ended up going kind of cross-town, so to speak, or cross-state from Philadelphia to the Pittsburgh Steelers over the course of time. Where am I? Yes, Donovan Jackson, very happy. Then the Giants, who apparently still the Vikings when it was their pick. It was just like, excuse me, after when they started talking to Matt Golden there on ESPN, that it was like, boom, Vikings pick is in. It's like, holy cow, that was fast. So there was pretty much zero analysis about who the Vikings were going to take. They were too busy talking to Matt Golden. So, okay, good for him. And he'd probably be a nice target for Jordan Love, which is not a good thing for us, I suppose. The Giants most likely were talking to the Minnesota Vikings about moving up. The Vikings were like, no, this is the guy here. I'm not really interested in doing the Rick Spielman route, trading down and getting, just trading down and getting 19 picks. It's nice to have a few picks that hopefully are good ones that stick. And the terminology through this was called stick and pick. Well, the Vikings stuck and picked Donovan Jackson out of Ohio State. And I felt satisfied. This isn't the kind of draft like last year where it's like, wow, J.J. McCarthy, this is cool. Oh my God, they traded up again for Dallas Turner? Whoa. That's the guy Atlanta was kind of supposed to take and be like a future, stud pass rusher. But now he's on the Vikings? Holy crap. This is awesome. Dallas Turner and J.J. McCarthy. And it's like, holy cow. And the lead up to that draft with all the quarterbacks and all that. And, Drake May and J.J. McCarthy, who was, 15 times on the mock drafts. And I endorsed it 100% because I really liked what I saw. J.J. McCarthy was my guy going into last year's draft, so when the Vikings wound up with him, I was thrilled. Kept thinking he was going to wind up with the Giants or something. It's like, doggone it. But it never happened. The Giants took their receiver instead, thinking, let's give Daniel Jones a target. Well, now they got Jackson Dart. I guess he's their guy. He's going to hopefully throw darts for the Giants. So we'll see. He's got a chance. Ole Miss not exactly in my opinion, a quarterback mecca or whatever the terminology would be. But okay, we'll see. Best of luck to Jackson Dart and the New York Giants. Malachi Starks finally gets drafted by the Ravens. A perfect team for him, I think. Obviously, the Vikings could have been nice with Mr. Brian Flores, I'm sure. It would be fantastic considering how good the Vikings defense is with Flores in charge. But then you have, the Ravens have always had a really pretty epic defense, other than like back in the mid-'90s when it was like they'd throw for about 500 yards and give up about 400 back in the day. And then years later, though, that defense just became nuts by the late 90s, and pretty much generally speaking been pretty good ever since, with a few off and on seasons. But Malachi Starks winding up with Jaja. So those are the three big boys that I was talking about probably coming to Minnesota: Starks, Jackson, or Mr. Zabel. And Zabel went earlier than the others. So we'll continue second round and such. Unfortunately, the Vikings didn't get a second round pick, but to look at possible players that could have been taken, you think, okay, Cleveland's going to take Sanders. Yeah, they took him in the 5th round. Took him like 20. took him about 5 years, and they took another quarterback too, didn't they? Carson Swinger. Yep. Carton Swessinger. Yeah, I've heard that name before. Linebacker. So no Sanders there, and then it just keeps going down and down and down and down and down. Trevion Henderson went a bit lower than people thought. Nice pick for the Ravens. What are they called? The Patriots. So that's a big name running back who a lot of people saw as a first-round talent, going to the New England Patriots. 38th overall. Not bad for them. Tyler Sow instead of Sanders. 40th overall, going to he's a quarterback, of course, from the Louisville Cardinals, going to the New Orleans Saints instead of Sanders, and will be competing with Rattler, I suppose, because it ain't gonna be Carr. They're gonna park the car for the season. Unfortunately, wasn't that funny? How come you're not laughing? Come on, it was funny. Okay, I don't know. They're gonna park the car. Yeah, that's what they're gonna do. Anyhow, just looking to see other names that I was kind of looking at. But, Will Johnson was a definitely first-round cornerback. I wound up with the Arizona Cardinals, so good for him. Instead of Louisville Cardinals, Arizona Cardinals of Will Johnson. So good for him, I suppose. That's a big one, coming out of Michigan. And Minnesota's first pick. Minnesota's first draft pick, Minnesota Gophers anyway. Offensive tackle, Ariante Irsay, going to Houston Texans. So congratulations to Houston taking a Gopher. Minnesota Gophers. We've had a lot of coaches with that accent over the years. The Gophers, Gopher Nation. Going to take Gopher Nation to Pasadena. Sure we are. Okay. Anyhow, Darius Alexander rolls right off your tongue, going to the Giants. Number 1 in the 3rd round. Eventually we'll get to some Viking picks. And the guy that I thought was going to possibly be there, kind of a safe cornerback for the Vikings, like the Donovan Jackson of cornerbacks, kind of a stay-at-home guy. The NFL draft boards, apparently, all the war rooms out there, all the different teams, saw him as maybe too safe of a pick, too much of a stay-at-home guy, and maybe nothing all that special. But I think Donovan Jackson's probably going to be a hell of a guard in the NFL. But Isaiah Thomas from Florida State going to 73rd overall to the New York Jets. So, all right, well, he could be joining a pretty damn good secondary. That's one of the things they had going for them in New York Jet land. Otherwise, they're not flying real well. Excuse me. Caleb Johnson, Iowa, keeping the same color scheme, going to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Okay, so obviously, I've got a lot of people from Iowa listening to the show. So a lot of you know who that is, of course. Not all of you might not necessarily be your team, but probably Iowa Hawkeyes. Basketball's got a lot more variety, like Northern Iowa, Iowa State Cyclones, and of course Northern Iowa and the Iowa Hawkeyes. They look a lot like the Pittsburgh Steelers. Caleb Johnson's going to the Steelers. Good for him. Man, that's a funky name. I see some funny ones, obviously, in here. I thought I saw another Minnesota guy, but I know there is one coming up, and of course, one coming to the Minnesota Vikings as well in undrafted free agency. With the final pick, obviously the Vikings trading down a bit, trading down here at the last second. It's like, sheesh, are we ever going to pick anybody here on Friday? Well, we finally did with the very, very last pick of the entire day. Vikings finally took somebody. Ty Felton, Maryland receiver, similar to a certain Maryland receiver that was picked by the Vikings 10 years ago. In 2015, a guy by the name of Stephon Diggs, 5th round pick. The reason why he slipped was kind of like a little bit of that attitude diva thing. Well, he ended up being a heck of a player, but the attitude diva thing did rear its ugly head later on, and it's still there 10 years later. Oh, yes. Stephon Diggs, hell of a player, but diva. Just like number 77 on Los Angeles, in the basketball world. Talk about divas. It's giving me the willies. Yeah, Wolves are down by 4, trying to take a 3-1 lead on the frickin' Lakers right now. Frickin' Lakers wearing those ugly-ass white uniforms, pretending to be like the Vikings, but no, the Lakers were meant to wear gold, not white. Anyhow, or purple. Anyhow, next, Ty Felton's coming to Minnesota. Very lanky. Holy cow, he's a skinny-looking guy. He's got a very skinny frame, but holy cow, is he fast. Oh, is he fast. So, 10-yard split, 1.51 seconds. Are you kidding me? 40. 4.37. Jiminy Christmas. Jumps at the combine were all outstanding. And what's funny is a lot of the stats that he came up with, the combine, the speed and the leaping ability, he was actually pissed off saying, damn it, I could have done better. So that's interesting. Vertical threat. Yep, he can definitely jump like crazy. He can fly up the field. He's got great straight line speed. You get him in stride in the flat, it's a pretty good chance you might have yourself a touchdown. I honestly see Ty Felton as, I think he could be a wonderful kick returner. Now, of course, again, I mean, the return game is dangerous for any player, and a guy with kind of a skinny frame like that. It is what it is, but the straight line speed can be some special stuff. Straight line speed can be absolutely great, but when he gets into that second, third gear or whatever, yeah, I mean, it could be game over. I mean, Randy Moss was built that way, wasn't he? He was pretty lanky, especially when he first came into the NFL. Randy Moss was definitely a lanky guy, but when he would get a step on somebody, it was pretty much game over, especially in his rookie year, as the cover 2 nonsense hadn't taken over the league yet. Eventually, teams would counter that with some of more of that West Coast style and throw for frickin' 500. I'm getting pissed. I hate Luka Doncic. God, sorry, but throw for like 500 yards on you underneath the cover 2, and then the cover 2 became useless pretty quickly years later. But man, at the time, it was frustrating because it took away the deep threat. God, that was annoying. I hated that. The stupid Falcons got that going. Falcons and Bucks. What's wrong with these guys? Idiots. Anyhow, post-draft analysis, Minnesota has 2 outstanding receivers in Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison, that's for sure. Now it adds a potential upgrade over Jalen Naylor. Yeah, he dropped the ball a lot. Now, Felton dropped the ball a few times as well. Didn't he have like 8 drops last year? So that kind of sucks. This is, of course, with Maryland. Anyhow, Felton is versatile enough to line up wide or work out of the slot for the Vikings. And he's a good value at this point in the draft. Yeah, I think so. Well, he's good in the flat, that's for sure, especially in stride. You can get him out in the flat in stride, you got something. He gets a step, and it's kind of like game over. He's got insane speed, does Ty Felton. So he's kind of like, in a lot of ways, that's like the perfect third receiver. The guy who could be epic out there. The guy who could be a deep threat and be something special, where he doesn't have to be necessarily, like number 1, number 2. Locally, Thor Nystrom sees him as starter potential, like a starting receiver. So, and yeah, you can start with 3 receivers. And obviously this offense and this coach, the passing game is, it is what it is. It's definitely there. So, yep, and we can look at maybe Kevin Seifert as well, analysis of every Vikings pick. We'll look at what Kevin Seifert has to say as well. I might even yeah, okay, good. I can open up both. So Kevin Seifert is a local guy, but with ESPN, of course. Keeps up with a lot of our players and such. Tyron Ingram Dawkins, now round 5, 139 overall from the Browns. Vikings signed 2 defensive linemen. Yep, remember those guys, Jonathan Allen and Javon Hargrave, but Allen is 30, Hargrave is 32, so Harrison Phillips is 29. So this guy can definitely bring depth and all that. Yep. So he can, he's a rotation guy. That's what they're saying. And of course, Mr. Flores. Yep, this is more of a Flores type of a pick. There's no doubt about that. So Tyron Ingram Dawkins on his way to Minnesota. Pretty cool at the end of the day. So, I mean, it's, he's a depth guy. He'll get the rotation. He'll get in a bit of a rotation because you're not going to just throw the same guys out there forever. And, of course, you keep guys fresh. And you can get a very aggressive pass rush that way. And obviously keep guys fresh. That's the whole point. Less likely to get hurt for one, especially two guys that were hurt last year a bit. So that have had injury history, Jonathan Allen and Javon Hargrave. So that's a fact. Jonathan Allen and Javon Hargrave have had injury history, unfortunately. So it is what it is. Then the Vikings get a little bit funky with a tight end named Gavin Bartholomew, tight end of Pittsburgh. Vikings would have back-to-back picks in the first round. Kobe King actually went ahead of him, but I guess we'll start with Gavin Bartholomew. Yep, but we needed depth at tight end. Nick Muse was the number 4. Jonathan Munt left, didn't he? T.J. Hawkinson was disappointing last year and was hurt. Obviously, Oliver is still here, so that's good. But at least get a third guy, possibly, to compete. And we'll see what happens with Gavin Bartholomew, Kobe King. Also, he's related to a Green Bay Packer. I know Brent Jacobson, my friend here in town, of course, and God bless Brent Jacobson. He's gone through some, unfortunately, some health issues not too long ago, so that's unfortunate. Here we go. Yes, he was saying how the Vikings drafted Kobe King, who's the twin brother of Packers cornerback Kalen King. So cool. Thank you for that. Brent Jacobson. Yep, he's a twin brother of Kalen King of the Green Bay Packers. King will get this. He's a linebacker from Penn State. So, yep, sticking around in the Big Ten here. King will get an immediate chance to contribute on special teams. Yep, I can imagine that. Yeah, I was thinking like a 6th-round linebacker, that's special teams. But you never know. Could be depth behind like Blake Cashman, Ivan Pace, guys like that. So, exciting. And, of course, you can maximize potential and keeping guys fresh and all of that. So, hopefully Kobe King is a nice pick here for the Minnesota Vikings. Again, guys like that usually get their first action in special teams. It's just how it is, later round, like linebacker type players, linebackers, cornerbacks, stuff like that. Special teams, offensive line is what it is. They might get on there some, but we'll worry about that in the future. It's a long snapper, dang it. No, not like that. So now we're going to dig more into the regular draft again. Vikings draft class, though, it's it's kind of meat and potatoes with a little bit of extra mustard when you talk about the receiver. For the most part. Otherwise, it is meat and potatoes. You got, offensive line with the guard. You got the defensive line, linebacker, and tight end. But then you have that little bit of extra spice, little extra mustard, spicy mustard with Ty Felton. So that should be exciting at the very least. And, yeah, Vikings getting another receiver that could be better than, say, a Jalen Naylor. Like, God bless Jalen Naylor. But there were times where it's just you're almost crying. Like, oh, no. How did he drop that? How did he miss that? You're kidding, Jalen. It was heartbreaking. So we'll see if Ty Felton is an upgrade and definitely can help with special teams. I think he can help. I think he's got kick returner written in his future. Honestly, with that straight line speed, that's what I see. I wouldn't be surprised one bit if they at least attempted that. Yep. And then what's his name continued to slide, Mr. Sanders. Shitter Sanders sliding. Along into the 4th round. It's like, my God, he got to Saturday, and it's like nothing. What's going on? Is he ever going to get taken? This is weird. What's going on here? And again, didn't Cleveland take a quarterback as well? Pretty sure they did. Oh, doggone it. Yeah, I wish I could. Wish you could organize this a little bit, but okay. Nope. We'll get back to it. Yeah, I apologize. But, I'm pretty sure, Cleveland took a quarterback, but I know the Saints did for sure, obviously. But Cleveland eventually takes Shadur Sanders, 144th overall, 6th pick in the 5th round. 6th pick in the 5th round, Mr. Shadur Sanders goes to Cleveland. Minnesota Vikings, of course, making their trade earlier. First we acquired Tyron Ingram Dawkins. Yep. T-I-D. Tid. We acquired Tyron Ingram Dawkins, 6'5", 276. So, interesting. He's a little bit on the lighter side but I guess he does play edge. So he wanted a little bit of speed as well. He only got like 3 sacks last year, though. So it wasn't like he was this dominating pass rush, but definitely could be a rotation kind of guy at the very least. At the very least, we're going to come back to something here, but I swear Cleveland took a quarterback before Shedeur Sanders, 6th-round picks and all that. But, yep, I mean, most of these guys, yes, he had Gavin Bartholomew. And what was the other guy? Okay, yeah. I think that's what it was, LeJohntay Webster. I think he wanted him. Mr. Thor. Yep, or was it a different tight end? I think he wanted Webster. But, yeah, he said he was disappointed. And then Raiders finally took a quarterback, Cam Miller out of North Dakota State, 215th overall. So, I don't know. I mean, are you that devoted to Geno Smith, I guess? Or just the players you saw weren't that guy right now? It just wasn't your year. Like last year was the same thing, and you didn't want Shedeur Sanders and all that nonsense that comes with him. So, interesting. Kobe Minor ends up being, so another Kobe with 2 E's here, out of Memphis, ends up being Mr. Irrelevant to the Patriots of all teams. And a guy by the name of Fadil Diggs. Wonder if there's any relation, but probably not. So a guy named Stefan, or the Cowboys safety. Oh, come on. It doesn't let you choose, does it? It doesn't let you really break anything down. What's going on? I don't like this. I don't like it at all. Damn it. They don't let you move around. Okay, yes, they do. Maybe. Okay, I want to look at the Cleveland Browns a minute here, because I swear they took a quarterback ahead of Shedeur Sanders. Yeah, they did. That's who I thought. Dylan Gabriel, 3rd round out of Oregon. And it's not Oregon, it's Oregon, by the way, just so you know. I know from, somebody from Oregon saying that. Anyhow, sorry, I know, I'm not trying to be condescending. Yeah, I mean, Dylan Gabriel, too. So, what's the plan, Cleveland? You finally took Shedeur Sanders. I guess you're going to bury him somewhere. You already have Joe Flacco, and what was the other guy they have? God, that's weird. Cleveland's weird. I'm sorry, Vince Romano, if he's listening. I mean, maybe he thinks they're weird, too, right now. I don't know. Mason Graham looks like a nice pick, I'm sure, out of Michigan. I hope he's okay. I hope he's so happy with him. And then Schwessinger, the linebacker, so focusing defensively. Cleveland does have good defense historically. Yeah, Dylan Gabriel. And then they finally said, okay, we'll take Shedeur Sanders. Damn it, leave me alone. It's kind of like, it was almost like that. It's kind of funny. But let's look at the other guys the Vikings picked up, if humanly possible. Thought I had them here. Did I lose them? Okay, so the 20 players the Vikings signed as UDFAs. Tyler Batty, outside linebacker of Brigham Young. Nice. Silas Bolden, wide receiver Tejas. This guy named Max Brosmer of the Gophers? Really? All right. Max Brosmer coming to the Vikings, at least for now, as a potential 4th quarterback. You have 4th or 3rd, or who knows. Some people, you never know. Otherwise, for now, it's JJ number 1, Sam Howell number 2, and then Brosmer and Brett Ripien are 3-4 type of deal. 4-3, 3-4, whatever it is. Logan Brown, offensive line, Kansas. Chaz Chambliss, outside linebacker, Georgia. Oscar Chapman, punter, Auburn, so he'll be competing with Wright. Zeke Correll, offensive line, North Carolina State. Dante Fleming, wide receiver, Tulane. Rolls right off your tongue there. Keenan Garber, cornerback, Kansas State. Joe Huber, offensive line, Wisconsin. Then you get 3 consecutive Auburn players. War Damn Eagle. And God rest his soul, Cedric Paulding apparently died of a heart attack months ago, and I just, that was really sad news. I believe I think I mentioned this on a previous episode, but just in case I didn't, War Damn Eagle to Cedric Paulding, who died of a heart attack years ago. He was a listener of the show, a Navy vet with Dylan Richardson. So, God rest his soul, just in case, and even if I did this before, I'm going to do it again. Cedric Paulding, a moment of silence. War Damn Eagle, Cedric Paulding. Austin Keys, linebacker, Auburn. Robert Lewis, wide receiver, Auburn. Dorian Mossy, linebacker, Auburn. Bison Nesbitt, North Carolina, tight end. Michelle Powell, rolls right off your tongue, safety out of Miami. Trey Stewart, running back, Jacksonville State. Jacksonville State. Wow, that's different. But we'll see. Trey Stewart, that'd be quite a story. Out of Jacksonville State. That would be quite a story. Zemaiah Vaughn, cornerback, Utah. Alex Williams. Sounds like, I don't know, basketball? I don't know. Baseball? I don't know. Something like that. Football defensive lineman out of Middle Tennessee State. I've heard of that one. That's a funny one. Middle Tennessee State. I like that. Ben Urosek, tight end, Georgia. Final and last but not least, Miles Price, wide receiver out of Indiana. The Indiana Hoosiers. Max Broser, the big name on the list. Quarterback, Max Brosmer, entered the weekend, hoping to hear his name called at some point. That's how the reality unfolded. However, he went undrafted, but he got $250,000 guaranteed by the Minnesota Vikings, so that's really interesting. He'll be the youngest quarterback in the room in the NFL. Yeah, it will be the youngest quarterback room in the NFL because you have even Ripien. He's 28. He's the oldest guy, and I think he's the mentor if they keep him. JJ's 22. Brosmer's 24, interestingly enough, and Sam Howell's 24. So there he is. Howell, of course, acquired with the trade during the draft, trading down 30 picks with the Seattle Seahawks. And, yep, Brett Ripien's going to be I guess he's the mentor, pardon me. And we'll see how that goes. McCarthy is the youngest guy. And he probably should be, right? And he's the leader, too, now, apparently. He's the starter. But $250 guaranteed tells you that Brosmer, boy, they're willing to give up some bucks to have him around. So, interesting. They must like him. And good for us, I suppose, to say the least. Yeah, let's look at Max Brosmer here. Why the heck not? Gophers. What's going on? Okay, yeah, he only played one collegiate year in college football, at least for the Gophers. But yeah, he was a senior. Only got to start that 1 year, but 13 games. He was pretty good. 18 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. He was pretty good for us, for the Gophers, so that's actually pretty nice. Those are the passing numbers at the very least. 66.5%, 28 yards. Quarterback rating of 137.2. And he was very sharp, and of course winning bowl games and such, which is wonderful. Attempted to run. What am I seeing here? That's not possible. Come on, this can't be true. He wasn't minus 36 yards, was he? That doesn't make sense. Surely it's better than that. Yep, and yes, he was also good during the bowl. Yep, and the Gophers have been fantastic during the bowl. He also ran for, so Brosmer ran for 5 touchdowns. I don't know what this nonsense is, though. Are you kidding me? He was minus in the running game? I don't think so, was he? I don't remember that. And the reason why Max Brosmer is a bit older, he's one of those red shirt kind of guys, portal, not red shirt. That's not what he is, portal. His overall running numbers throughout his collegiate career with New Hampshire and Minnesota, 263, 10 touchdowns on 191 carries. So the yards per carry, not so great, but I guess that's what it is. But we're not here to talk about Max Brosmer's running game necessarily. That is an anomaly to me, though. Was he really a minus 36? I don't understand that. Did he... Something weird happened. He must have ran backwards like 40 yards or something. Must have been stacked like 40 for a 40-yard loss or an 80-yard loss or something. Like, I don't know what happened. Who knows? Or like a fumble and recovered it, but was tackled basically, that type of thing. The ball goes flying backwards. If he was able to recover it and save it, I have no memory of that happening. Because it's like I like the Gophers, but I don't watch them closely. I'm going to admit that I'm not a huge college guy. I like the NFL. Damn it! Once you like the NFL, college football looks sloppy. Just does. At least that's the way I am. Maybe I'm stupid and ignorant for saying that, but to me it looks sloppy at times. Sometimes it's fantastic, though. I mean, it's not that bad. Sometimes you watch like a up-and-coming quarterback and you're just dazzled, like, wow, that guy's going to be awesome. Like, I remember watching Lamar Jackson with Louisville, and I was just dazzled. I was blown away. Like, this guy's going to be great in the NFL. And, yeah, he's pretty damn good. He's probably not as good as I was expecting. I was expecting, top, maybe right, like the next level under Mahomes, basically level. But I don't. He's close to that, but not quite. Sometimes he is, though. Sometimes he really is way up there. So that's kind of like looking at the draft and the undrafted free agents to say that. Might as well jump into the fan interaction a bit. At least attempt to. At Purple Mafia Show. At Purple Mafia Show. Trying to do that. Unfortunately, the Facebook page, I just seem to not get a whole lot of conversation there, and I don't know why. Other than, well, we lost a lot of people when we had to recreate the page. So, kind of sucks. Kind of depressing, but I guess that's kind of how that goes at the end of the day. Did post things, there were some likes and all of that, but not a whole lot of overall conversation. But we'll hear from Dave Hickey and I believe some others on the Twitter account. I don't think there's anything going on Instagram. Maybe I'll pop that up here real quick as well. Sometimes I'm kind of not the best about that. I have it up and then it gets closed for some stupid reason. That's annoying, but that kind of comes with the territory, I suppose. Instead of watching people dance in front of a camera, I'd much rather see Purple Mafia Show. But maybe you like seeing people dance in front of cameras. I don't understand it. Ooh, there you go. Oh, come on, Anthony Edwards. That should have been a pick 6 for him. Tripping penalty on LeBron James. Doggone it. Double minor. Oh, boy. I hope he didn't hurt his knee now. Son of a... Please. No. What's going on here? Can't be doing that. So it's mostly likes, looks like, which I appreciate the likes. I like it and love it. What am I clicking on? Sorry, I'm just an absolute mess. But, yeah, unfortunately, I don't think there's any likes here. Or, yeah, there's likes, but there's no comments. Yeah, he's not getting up. That's great. But, yeah, sometimes he's a little on the dramatic side. Anthony Edwards, sometimes scaring the crap out of people, thinking he's, like, done for the year. I hope not. So the most recent episode, Vince Germano and Tanae Brown retweeting. Thank you guys so much. Vince Germano out of Australia. And Mr. Oh, Jesus. What did I just see? Oh, Jesus. Oh, boy. I did see movement. Okay. Oh, God. Help me. Oh, no. Okay. Good. Anthony, you scare the crap out of us all the time, man. But it's probably not going to be sore. I saw something move, but it wasn't that bad. But it was enough to probably scare the crap out of him. Sorry, that's distracting. Vince Germano out of Australia. And Tanae Brown out of New Zealand. But, yeah, I mean, both of those guys know basketball a lot. So I really appreciate you guys' support here on the football side of things. The draft preview conversation. Again, not as much momentum going into last year's draft. I mean, that was something else. Ed Ingram. Yep. Okay, yeah. Dave Hickey was reminding me that Ed Ingram was a second-round pick. So thank you very much for that. Because I was saying he was pretty high, wasn't he? And it's like, yeah, he was. He was a second-round pick. So definitely disappointing. Yeah, he was disappointing, to say the least, him being Eddie Ingram. So, Tanae Brown? Oh, no. Who's this? T. Lane? What's going on here? Yeah, sharing something from Purple Mafia Show here. Tactical Illusion. What's going on? Is he trying to scare me or is he trying to sell something? I'm not sure. T. Lane 23, huh? Okay. Diehard Viking. Okay, I think he supports the show. So, and let's just say I agree with, in case you're listening, T-Lane 23, I agree with you on a lot of things. Wink, nudge, nudge. And we'll leave it right there. Yeah, that's a cool look. And I guess it's like a Mr. J.J. McCarthy number 9. But that scary looking skeleton underneath, that's a little spooky, but it is what it is. But just in case you're listening, T-Lane, nice to meet you. Thank you for following the show. Really appreciate you. John Cariso locally, yeah, he was saying the Vikings pick was in immediately. Love to see it. And I was saying, yeah, they really wanted a guard. He should be a good one. We now have a full offensive line. Yeah, because that's the exciting part. Like we have a full offensive line, so that's awesome. A few people I'm gonna try to follow some people. Why not? Hopefully get some love for the Purple Mafia Twitter account. Follow back, will ya? Follow back now, you hear? Okay, let's back up. John Cariso locally, of course, good guy. Definitely helped the Vikings Stadium pass. The Wolves took a 1-point lead. And Anthony Edwards is playing and not, in a training on a training table somewhere, praying to God that he'll be playing 2 years from now. You know how the NBA is. Guy has like ACL or something, and they don't come back, man. Not for a long time. What'd you think it was? The NFL? Just kidding. Okay, Wolves have a 3. Okay, enough. What's my opinion, mate? Why is he dropped? Yep, that would be Shitter Sanders. So apparently, like Trent Tucker was saying on not because he's this football guy, he's a basketball guy. Trent Tucker on In the Zone, which is local KFAN, was saying, yeah, like more than likely that Shitter Sanders rubbed somebody the wrong way with something he said, and that word gets out. I mean, I don't know how the heck you go to the fifth round. What kind of bleeping closeout defense was that? I mean, I've seen better closeout defense in 6th grade. They just stood there and watched the guy shoot. Sorry, I'm a little... I kind of want the Wolves to win this game, if you didn't notice. Vince Germano's on the Lakers side here. He's also a Browns fan, which is totally fine. Like the Browns. But yes, Mr. Shitter did wind up there. I was saying, if I'm Cleveland, I take Sanders definitely tomorrow at number 33. But instead, he went to 144. Okay, Wolves hit a 3 and let's take a 3-point lead at halftime. Good. Okay. Why is he dropped? Apparently, yes. It was about probably saying the wrong type of stuff. And he did throw his offensive line under the bus. And his dad is obnoxious. And all that buff, or whatever the heck, like the way the media went nuts over Deion Sanders being the coach of Colorado Buffaloes. I don't know. It's annoying. It was kind of annoying. I remember thinking, yeah, that's a shelf life right there. That's no, guarantee of any kind. It's a shelf life. Oh, that's scary. Yep, it's definitely a shelf life, to say the least. When it comes to Deion Sanders, I think, and I don't know. I mean, it's like worse than like the whole LaMelo Ball thing. He didn't even slip that much. Like his dad was obnoxious. He certainly has gotten quiet, hasn't he? Because not LaMelo Ball, but what's the Lonzo Ball. Yeah, the people were making such a big deal about him, and he became an injury-prone guy and a role player. LaMelo ended up being pretty good, but injury-prone as well. So his dad was a lot quieter. Anyhow, but about Shitter Sanders. I mean, it's kind of a combination of things. He thinks he's better than he is, that type of thing. He's talented, but I don't know. He doesn't have like breakneck speed, and he's not like the greatest passer ever either. But definitely talent. There's definitely. I was saying, and I was just kind of rushing to things, saying I'd easily take him. He's the second best quarterback in the draft. Lots of talent. Yeah, he's talented, but it's like the more research over the course of time and kind of keeping up with things. Or getting caught up with what he really is. It's like, yeah, he's talented, but he's not like this can't miss. That's what it is. And is that worth all the absolute drama that can be brought with? So as a 5th round pick, he pretty much has to shut up and practice and all that and do the dirty work now if he's going to be a successful player in the NFL. 5th round picks, it just is what it is. Like, you got to do the dirty work. Tom Brady did the dirty work as a 6th round pick. And he was coming in without any touting at all. And it didn't take too long. Like, if you're talented enough and you deserve to be the guy, then so be it, Jedi. So be it, Jedi. But if you're not, well, then you're not. That's just kind of how it's going to have to be. So we'll see what happens. I know Vince Germano is not a fan of Kevin Stefanski, unfortunately. Let's just say I like Stefanski more than Vince does. But again, that might not be saying much. I mean, I like him okay. Vince can't stand him. And he has more of a direct, he's more, it's his team where, I'm not, with Cleveland every day. I'm with the Vikings more so. Vince continues saying, I'm happy to take him, brother, but there's got to be a reason he slid down the board. Apparently there's a reason, and man, there's a reason. It's a historic slide, and yeah, for him to slip down maybe 130 picks or so lower than he was maybe going to go is pretty remarkable. And from 33, he slid another 111. Just doing the math there, 111 picks. It's pretty wild stuff, man. Pretty crazy, to say the least. He was pretty much the story of the draft, which is unfortunate, actually. You wish he wasn't. I wish it was something else, but we'll see what happens. I'm just glad Anthony Edwards didn't just have an ACL. I mean, that scared the crap out of me. I saw movement. But it wasn't enough, though. I mean, sometimes when you see big-time movement, then it's like, yeah, good. We'll see you next year. But it could be like just one of those where it scares the living bleep out of you. I've had that happen, and then you stand up and you're okay. So, Dave Hickey out of Iowa says, what were we talking about here? I was saying, when you see the amount of people in Green Bay for the draft, it's just like, what's the point? You can't even enjoy it. Would you rather just watch it? I mean, I would rather just watch it 10 out of 10 times. Dave Hickey says, no kidding. It's great to see. It's great to go see a game every once in a while, but they are pricey. Yes, and they are pricing me out of there. Yeah, like everything. Like just like a bottle of water at the Minnesota Wild game, $6. Or was it $6.50? Oh, sorry. Or was it $7? It was at least $6 though. $6 for a bottle of water. You know, $6. Yup. Continuing. The best place is always right at home. I heard the boys at Score North. Yeah, I think I like them more than KFAN. By the way, I like Score North more than KFAN. Anyhow, I heard the boys at Score North. The price for a single beer was $17 at the draft. $17. Oh. The only good part is you'd hope that would keep people from, like getting punch drunk and being a complete moron and annoying people. And in that kind of setting, you can't afford to be punch drunk because you can't even move hardly. If you're drunk and obnoxious, you'll die. Seriously. You'll either die or kill people. When there's that many people there, that's dangerous, man. Dangerous. Next. Yes. Oh, yeah. Another thing, too, going on is Minnesota Twins posted out that our thoughts are with Tony Oliva and Ken Herbeck and their families as they recover from recent strokes. Get well soon, Tony and Kent. Strokes. Kirby Puckett died of a stroke in 2006. But the good news is, yeah, if they're already recovering, then hallelujah for that, because Kirby, it was pretty much it. It was like just boom, I think it was just boom, and then there was too much, when something like that happens, and then there's too much brain damage, and that's it. And they pull the cord. Pull the plug. It's absolutely sad as hell, 2006, that's a long time ago. So, wishing these guys the best, and glad to know that they're actually on the road to recovery. So, Tony Oliva, Ken Herbeck, yes. Tony Oliva going all the way back to the 60s. Ken Herbeck, of course, 87, 91, and going back to the early 80s to 94. Great career with that first base, the sliding catch. Kent, you're the greatest, man. Bloomington native as well. So, Tony Oliva, Hall of Fame legend. Yeah, man. So, love those guys. They're the greatest. So, yep, hoping the best for them, for sure. Dave Hickey, looks like that's it. Here it is. Dave Hickey says, let's see if there's a response to something. Okay, I was saying, well, so much for Gray Zabel. Off to Seattle at 18. I guess we could have figured as much. Dave Hickey wraps things up saying, I think we got a good one in Donovan Jackson. Another college champion 2 years in a row. Isn't that nice? With hated rivalries with JJ and the new rookie. Yep. That is pretty exciting. For sure, because, Michigan, Ohio State, that's a pretty bitter rivalry, all right. And both of them have won national titles, so pretty cool when you think about that. So you get some champions in Minnesota, hopefully to bring a Super Bowl championship as well. So great thinking, Dave. Love it. Gold star for Dave Hickey for this episode. Gold star. Vince Germano, silver. And where's everybody else, damn it? Miss you guys. Hope Tanae's doing all right. He must be busy because don't even hear him on TE much. So it's kind of sad. But if he's busy, he's busy. I mean, it is what it is. People get super busy. Sometimes it's like the worst timing ever too. You're like, this is the most exciting time, but I can't do anything about it. I'm uber busy. It happens. Unfortunately, it sucks, but it's reality. Unless he's disillusioned with me, I don't know. I hope not. But with that said, really hoping you enjoyed this show, this review. I'm, honest with you that I'm not this huge draft expert. It is what it is. I love keeping up with it. I love the excitement. I like prognosticating what the future holds. And just the thought of having a full offensive line, like a full house on the offensive line, is freaking awesome. So that's something absolutely to look forward to as we go forward, as we go into 2025 and beyond, to compete for a Super Bowl in the next 5 years or so. Hopefully winning multiple Super Bowls. But get that first one. First things first, get number one, and then anything after that is absolutely freaking gravy, like you wouldn't believe. With that said, thank you so much for listening. It might be a little bit till the next episode. It might be a long time. But maybe we'll jump in and have some conversations here, especially with this upcoming group. It's exciting. JJ McCarthy conversation and such. Hopefully, I'm not coming on to talk about people dying. Like, that's the sad part. Like Bernsey passing away, Dennis Green passing away, stuff like that. So hopefully, it's not because somebody died. That's the sad part. But well, if that's what it is, that's what it is. Otherwise, I'd like to keep up with this team maybe a little better in the offseason than I have in the past. I don't think that's helped the show at all, how I tend to go on too long of a hiatus. But sometimes I can't help it. Like last year, it just rained like hell as the spring cleanup and fall, seasonal mowing went into full gear, and it just never stopped because of the damn rain. There was no, like part where things calmed down a little bit. It was just hectic, all the time. So we'll see. I'd like to get on more often though in the off season. With that said, just wishing all of you the best. Skol Vikings, and stay healthy, stay alive, and stay sane.